The whole world is watching as the United States plays its ultimate economic card, threatening to cut other countries off from its markets. For decades, this strategy worked, but now, something has changed. In this video, we'll explore why the era of unchallenged American economic dominance is ending, and what that means for everyone, from global leaders to everyday citizens. For years, the United States has used its economic might to pressure other nations. But today, some countries are too big, too developed, and too well connected to be forced to bend. This is a turning point, not just for America, but for the entire global order. Stay with us as we break down how America's empire is fading, what's replacing it, and why this shift matters for your future. After World War II, the United States emerged as the world's dominant economic power. Unlike traditional empires with colonies, America built its empire through economic subordination. The Marshall Plan helped rebuild Europe with American money and goods, but this was only possible because the rest of the world lay in ruins. The dollar became the global reserve currency, and America's influence was unrivaled. But now, after roughly 70 years, that dominance is fading. The world has changed. Countries like China have grown stronger, formed new alliances, and developed their own economic networks. The United States can no longer simply threaten to cut countries off from its markets and expect them to comply. China, for example, now has the power to source goods from Brazil or energy from Canada, bypassing the United States entirely. These new relationships are complex and deeply rooted. They won't be undone overnight, even if American policies change. The United States and its traditional allies, the G7, now account for just about 26 to 27% of global economic output. Meanwhile, the BRICS alliance, which includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and now more than 20 countries, represents roughly 35% of the world's output. This is, honestly, a seismic shift. The BRICS nations are not only economic competitors, they're forming a new pole of global power. This realignment is, reshaping trade, diplomacy, and military alliances. Russia's pivot toward Asia, its military cooperation with China, and the expansion of NATO to Russia's borders have all contributed to a new era of geopolitical tension. The United States is finding itself increasingly isolated, and its ability to dictate terms to the rest of the world is, diminishing. As America's empire declines, the temptation to turn inward, to focus on nationalism and protectionism, definitely grows. Tariffs, trade wars, and economic isolation might provide short-term political gains, but history shows that such policies can actually lead to disaster. Back in the 1930s, the world saw how beggar thy neighbor policies, where countries tried to protect themselves at the expense of others, deepened the Great Depression. Today, we risk repeating those mistakes. If the global economy falters, the lack of international cooperation could make recovery much harder. The rise of nationalist rhetoric, the breakdown of alliances, and the focus on domestic issues at the expense of global stability are all warning signs. The decline of American power isn't just a matter for diplomats and politicians, it affects everyone. As the United States becomes more isolated, its citizens may feel the pinch in their wallets. Tariffs and trade wars can drive up prices, hurt small businesses, and shift the tax burden onto ordinary people. Meanwhile, the political system is, increasingly focused on spectacle and division. Leaders on both sides of the aisle seem more interested in scoring points than actually addressing the real challenges of a declining empire. The result, honestly, is a lack of meaningful debate or any real planning for the future. The United States is not the first empire to decline, and, it won't be the last. History shows that as empires fade, they often turn on their allies and focus mostly on self-preservation. The wealthy and powerful try to shield themselves from the effects of decline, while the burden, really falls on the middle and lower classes. But there is still hope. If the global economy faces a major crisis, there may be a renewed push for cooperation. The key question is whether the world's leaders will be able to set aside their differences and work together, or whether they'll just continue down the path of division and decline. The stakes could not be higher. The decline of the American empire is not just about power. It's about stability, prosperity, and the future of global cooperation. If we fail to address these challenges, the consequences could be severe for everyone, not just Americans. If you found this video insightful, please leave a comment below with your thoughts on the future of American power. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more in-depth analysis on global politics, economics, and what it all means for you.